Listen carefully, because most men think they know what love looks like. They think love is sweet texts, constant affection, endless reassurance, and a woman always trying to be close. They believe love is loud. They believe love is obvious. But what if I told you the real signs of deep love are so counterintuitive, so opposite of what you expect, that most men miss them completely? And here is where it gets dangerous. There is one behavior on this list that looks like she is pulling away, like she is losing interest, like she is becoming cold. But it is actually the strongest proof she is falling harder than she has ever fallen for anyone. I will reveal it at number 4, and when you hear it, you might think I am exaggerating. But if you have ever ruined something good by misreading her signals, you will understand exactly why this matters. Because the women who love you the most do not always show it in the way you were taught to expect. In fact, research in relationship psychology consistently shows that men misread female attachment signals more than they realize, which means right now you could have a woman who is deeply in love with you and you are walking around thinking she is losing interest. That is how relationships get destroyed. Not through betrayal, not through cheating, not through obvious disrespect, but through misunderstanding, through a man reacting to love as if it was distance and treating her emotional surrender like it was a warning sign. So in this video, I am going to reveal 7 behaviors that only happen when a woman is in deep, transformative love, not casual attraction, not a temporary crush, not that early honeymoon energy. I am talking about the kind of love that changes how her brain processes reality, the kind of love that rewires her priorities and makes you a permanent presence in her internal world. And I will break down the psychology behind each one so you never misinterpret her again. Because missing these signs does not just mean you are clueless. It means you might sabotage the best relationship of your life, because you assumed she was pulling away when she was actually falling deeper. Now let us begin. Sign number 1. She shares her unglamorous moments with you. And I do not mean casual comfort. I mean, she lets you see her at her worst. No makeup early in the morning, messy hair, sweatpants, stress tears, emotional frustration, family drama, the version of herself she would never show to someone she is trying to impress. Most men see this and think, she is just comfortable with me, the spark is gone, she is not trying anymore. But that is not what it means. When a woman is deeply in love, she stops performing. She stops acting like she has to earn your attention. She starts treating you like home, and home is where you can be real. But here is the twist that most men miss. When she is madly in love, she will show you her ugly moments, her boring moments, her frustrated moments, her exhausted moments. But there is one thing she becomes strangely quiet about: her attention toward other men, even casual attention, even meaningless attraction, even a small compliment she could mention for fun. When a woman is deeply in love, she does not want to remind you that other options exist. She does not want to create insecurity. She does not want to risk contaminating what she feels with unnecessary comparison. She will not talk about the guy who flirted with her at work. She will not casually mention that someone tried to get her number. She will not bring up her ex unless it is necessary. She will act like you are the only man on the planet, not because she is pretending, but because her brain is genuinely narrowing its focus. There is a real psychological effect where deep attachment suppresses interest in romantic alternatives. Her attention becomes selective. Her nervous system becomes bonded. And here is the crazy part. Most men misinterpret her silence about other men as secrecy. They become paranoid. They assume she is hiding something. But in reality, her silence is her loyalty. Her silence is her way of saying, I do not even want to look elsewhere. If she is showing you her worst moments but never talks about other men, that is not a red flag. That is devotion. Sign number 2, she protects your reputation fiercely, even when you are wrong. This is one of the most powerful and invisible signs of love because it happens in conversations you never hear. When a woman is deeply in love, she becomes your defender. Her friends criticize you, and she shuts it down. Her family questions your decisions, and she stands by you. Someone at work speaks badly about you, and she corrects them immediately. But what makes this shocking is that she will defend you even when she is upset with you, even when she knows you made a mistake, even when she is angry, because in her mind, you are still her person. You are still the man she is emotionally invested in. Researchers call this protective advocacy. When a woman is deeply attached, your reputation becomes tied to her emotional identity. If someone disrespects you, it feels like an attack on what she believes in. And here is how you can test this without asking her directly. Pay attention to how her friends talk about you when she is present. If they filter themselves, if they speak carefully, if they show you respect, that is not because they are naturally polite. That is because she has trained them. She has corrected them before. She has defended you in private. Most men never notice this. They do not realize she is fighting battles for them behind the scenes. And the day she stops defending you is the day her love begins to die. Sign number 3. She remembers details you forgot and uses them like weapons. Let me ask you something. Have you ever mentioned something small in passing? Something you barely remember saying, and weeks later she brings it up like it was important. You casually said you loved a certain candy as a child, and she buys it for you. You complained about your boss one random day, and weeks later she asks how that situation ended. You told her about a dream you had years ago, and she has been quietly researching how to help you achieve it. That is not coincidence. That is emotional investment. When a woman is deeply in love, her brain prioritizes information about you. The memory center of the brain flags your words as important. She does not have to try to remember. She just does, because you have become a central character in her internal narrative. But here is the part that will shock you. She is not just remembering details to be sweet. She is building a psychological map of you. She is learning your patterns, your triggers, your fears, your desires, and your weaknesses. She is storing everything. And yes, sometimes she will use those details against you during conflict. She will reference something you said months ago. She will connect dots you did not even know existed. And men assume she is being petty or manipulative. But most of the time, it is not manipulation. It is obsession. It is immersion. It is proof that you live in her mind even when you are not around. A woman who does not care does not remember. A woman who is deeply in love archives everything. Sign number 4. She becomes comfortable with silence around you. And this is the one that destroys relationships because men misread it completely. When a woman is madly in love, she stops feeling the need to fill every moment with talking. She can sit beside you quietly. She can scroll on her phone. She can read. She can stare into space. She can exist in stillness with you and feel completely safe. Most men interpret this as boredom. They think she is losing excitement. They think she is no longer interested. They think the relationship is dying. But silence is not distance. Silence is surrender. A woman who is only casually attracted needs stimulation. She needs conversation. She needs entertainment. But a woman who is deeply bonded does not need constant noise. She feels emotionally regulated by your presence. Your body becomes her calm. Your energy becomes her home. And here is the real test. Look at her body language during the silence. If she stays close, if her legs touch yours, if she leans into you, if she relaxes her shoulders, if she breathes slowly, that silence is not rejection. That silence is trust. That silence is her nervous system saying, I am safe with him. I do not need to perform. I can rest. And if she can rest with you, she loves you deeper than she can explain. Sign number 5. She starts planning her life around yours without asking permission. This one is massive because it shows integration. She starts thinking in terms of us without even realizing it. She considers your schedule before making plans. She thinks about job opportunities and subconsciously checks whether they align with your life. She sees something in a store and thinks, he would like that. She thinks about future vacations and wonders where you would enjoy going. She does not do this because she is losing independence. She does it because her brain is bonding. She is mentally building a future where you are included. She is not asking you for commitment yet. She is not demanding anything. She is simply weaving you into her internal blueprint. That is what deep love does. It makes you part of her future without forcing it. Sign number 6. She fights with you differently. And this is where men often destroy everything. When a woman is deeply in love, conflict becomes emotional proof. She does not fight to win. She fights to resolve. She brings up issues because she wants the relationship to improve, not because she wants drama. She may still get emotional, but she does not want to lose you. And this changes her behavior. She stays in the conversation. She does not disappear. She does not shut down forever. She might cry, she might get frustrated, but she keeps engaging because she is invested. When a woman does not care, she becomes indifferent. She stops fighting. She stops trying. She stops communicating. Men think peace means love, but often silence after conflict is what signals emotional detachment. A woman who loves you argues because she is afraid of losing what you have. And if you respond with coldness or dismissal, you trigger something powerful in her psychology, the belief that she is not safe with you emotionally. Once that belief forms, love begins to collapse. So if she fights to fix things, do not punish her. That is love trying to survive. Sign number 7, she celebrates your wins like they are her own and mourns your losses the same way. This is the final sign, and it is the clearest proof of deep attachment. When she is madly in love, your success becomes her joy. Not because she needs your success to validate her, but because she feels emotionally connected to your journey. If you get promoted, she is more excited than you are. If you accomplish a goal, she celebrates like she won the lottery. If you have a bad day, her mood shifts because she feels your pain. That is not dependency. That is emotional merging. That is what happens when someone genuinely loves you. They do not just love what you provide. They love who you are becoming. And here is what you need to understand. If you are seeing these 7 signs, you have something most men will never experience. You have a woman who is deeply, intensely, irrevocably in love with you. She is showing you her unglamorous moments while becoming blind to other options. She is defending your name in rooms you are not in. She is remembering details you forgot and building a map of your soul. She is resting in silence beside you because your presence regulates her nervous system. She is weaving you into her future without even asking permission. She is fighting to fix instead of fighting to win. And she is celebrating your wins as if they belong to both of you. That is deep love. That is transformative attachment. And if you are smart, you will not take it for granted. Because the men who lose women like this do not lose them overnight. They lose them slowly by misreading her love as distance, by responding to her surrender with suspicion, by treating her devotion like it is not enough. So if you recognize these signs, your job is simple. Protect the connection. Lead with consistency. Show appreciation. Stay emotionally present. Because a woman can love you deeply, but if she feels unseen, she will eventually detach. And when she detaches, she does it quietly. But if you understand these signs now, you will never make that mistake again.